So you wrote a book called Why Software Sucks.
I
Do you
did,
just
yes.
want to tell me a bit about this? I mean, it's a pretty provocative title.
Yes, it is. If you go look at Better Business Bureau of complaints, you will find that of their top 5 sources of complaints, 3 of them have to do with software. We rank below used car salesmen and bill collectors put together. The public detests us. We do not realize this. Why has this happened? It's happened because the user population has changed drastically in the last 10 or 15 years. It used to be that everybody that used a computer had a college degree, and now that's no longer the case. And we as an industry have not acknowledged this huge demographic shift because it requires a complete change in the way that we've historically developed software, in the things that we've decided to build.
Okay, so are you saying that designers are the problem, developers are the problem? Where is the problem? Usability?
But in reality, it's whoever does the speccing out of the user interface design. And far more often than it should be, it's the programmer. Far more often than it should be, it's the marketing contact. What it really needs to be is it really needs to be a user interface interaction professional. If you look at the software industry, 5 years ago, say, everybody was a general purpose programmer. And today, the amount of stuff that there is to know just goes up and up and up like that. The amount of stuff that anybody can fit in their head, working as hard as they can, is more or less a constant. Therefore, the percentage of things that any one person could be an expert on just shrinks and shrinks and shrinks. And we need to specialize the development industry just as the medical industry has had to specialize for exactly the same reason, because there's just so much more to know.
Okay. I worked in a software company for many years, and there always seemed to be a fight between the designers and the developers. The designers telling the developers saying, no, this can't be done. I mean, is there something that the developers can do to kind of help with this process?
What's happening here is the user is being required to be more like a computer. Okay, computers are precise, computers are diligent, computers are thorough, and they are forcing the user to become less human and more like a computer. If you don't click exactly precisely where we tell you, we will do something to you that you don't want. And if you don't like that, well, tough. You click exactly where we tell you, and don't overshoot by even 1 pixel, or we're going to nail you. On the other hand, and that's really bad. They are not putting themselves in, whoever put that in, whoever approved that, was not putting themselves in their user's shoes. They were thinking the users were like them. On the other hand, again, looking at Office, what is really nice about Office is the autocorrect. For example, I start typing, and I'm typing as fast as I can, trying to get the words out before they flee. And I type in, the one hand is faster than the other, and I type in HTE instead of the. So I type in HTE space, and Word looks at it, and Word does not shout, wait a minute, you misspelled a word, stop, come back here, you idiot. They don't do that. They don't even underline it with a red squiggle and say, and remind me to come back sometime. What do? Just autocorrects, HTE space, and it autocorrects to the, like that. They say, yeah, Platt, I know what you meant. That's cool. I got your back. Just keep on going. I'll take care of this stuff. Come on. You just write. That's nice. It just works.
Okay, so what can people do who are working in software to make software better? I mean, what concrete steps, especially developers?
To make software better, the first thing that needs to happen is, like Alcoholics in Denial, we need to admit that, hey, guess what? There is a problem. Second is to identify what the problem is, and the problem is basically knowing who your user is. Know thy user, for he is not thee. All right? Your user is not you, your user is not you, your user is not you. I say that again and again and again. The guys that write Office are incredibly different from the guys that use Office. Right? What you need is I really want to see this user interaction become a separate specialty within the computing field. The customer experience improvement program that Microsoft has, where if you check the little box, it uses a web service or some email to send information to Microsoft, hey, the user did this, the user did that, automatically behind the scenes. That is actually, that's kind of where we need to go, and I would really like Microsoft to make that available to third-party developers so they could just sign up for this, the way Microsoft has made their Crash Recorder available to third-party developers. If we had this tracking software turned on, we would now have the hard numbers that we would need to make an intelligent decision here. We would be able to say that, oh yes, 98% of the time it's an accident. We should get rid of this thing, and we'll make 98% of users happier and 2% of users less happy. Or is it, well, no, it's kind of an even split, so I suppose we should leave it there. We will have the numbers we need to know that for certain. Dealing with computer users is a human skill, much more than it is a technical skill. We became programmers, we became geeks because we're not good at dealing with humans. That's why we went into software development in the first place, okay? Can you think of any two things on God's good earth that are more different than a CPU chip and a human being? Because I cannot. And yet the person that is good at interacting with the one is automatically assumed to be good at interacting with the other, and they're not. There's mutual exclusion going on. The qualities that make you good at dealing with this thing make you bad at dealing with that thing. And we haven't recognized that dichotomy, and we need to.
Well, do you have a blog out there somewhere that maybe if people are interested in finding out more?
You can try rollthunder.com.
Okay.
And that's where you'll find me. And
or the book.
Or the book. And by the way, the book has its own website, which is called, naturally, whysoftwaresucks.com. And after I do this, by the way, I'm going to write the sequel to it, which is, of course, Why Software Still Sucks. And then I'm going to go on. I'm going to write a whole series. Why banking sucks. Why insurance sucks. Instead of the dummy series, it'll be the suck series.
All right. So we can all look forward to the suck series. But David, thank you very much for joining me in the Fishbowl today.
Thank you very much for having me.